So do you want to go next?
I will go next.
All
I have
right.
to get my information out because I love information. So I have some interesting notes before I get to my actual topic. But so I started looking up this topic and I dove off on a rabbit trail of how much it costs to make a console.
Okay.
Okay.
So there was a few years ago they did a hardware teardown of a PlayStation 4, like piece by piece, and went through how much it cost. So for Sony to build a PlayStation 4, it costs them $381 to make.
And was this when it was new, or
This from what I understand, this is when it was new.
Okay.
It cost them $381 to make. That's $372 in parts and what they considered $9 in labor. If it was if it took an hour to make.
The sweatshops.
Yes.
I was gonna say those sweatshops, man. They only $9
Yes.
to make one of those. That's
Anyway.
a deal.
That's
So the PlayStation 4 when it came out was sold at $400, which means the console only made $18 per unit sold.
Okay.
Which doesn't seem like a lot, but when you realize the millions and millions of consoles sold, it adds up, and we'll get to that in a minute. It's estimated right now that the PlayStation 5 cost them $452 to make. Now that's before the whole shortage of parts.
Is that
and
well? What one is that though? That's the disc drive version.
I don't know. I'm guessing it's the disc drive version.
Okay, because I mean, if that's the high end, because I mean, obviously
Yeah.
the disc drive is going to add
Yeah.
cost. So I wanted to make sure
And
we knew.
so the base price for the disc one is what, $500, I think.
Yeah, it's $499 and $399.
Yeah. So $500 to buy, so $452 to make, $500 to buy. They're making more profit on PlayStation 5s.
Okay.
That was just an interesting thing that I found. The actual topic I wanted to cover was the, I guess, issue we have going on right now with Scalpers and how that whole process is going. So I started looking into it, and a bunch of the articles I read kind of talked about how the people who are doing the scalping don't think they're doing anything wrong. They liken it to a retailer buying milk from a wholesaler and jacking up the price and selling it back to people. So like in this case, in most cases right now, they're buying a $500 console, selling it for $1,000.
Yeah.
Okay. So it would make sense that it's like that milk analogy if there wasn't one problem. The milk analogy is a voluntary thing. What scalpers are doing, there's one community that I was reading about that they literally are showing their members on their Discord how to set up bots to bypass the security of websites so that they'll know that, hey, this store is going to have 300 systems going on sale at this date at this time.
Yeah.
So they can set up a bot to the second that goes live, buy out the entire stock.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of a problem. On top of that, with them selling them at, $1,000 a pop, I did the math here. So as of April 28th of this year, they have sold, I think it was 8 million PlayStation 5s as of April 28th.
Okay.
They estimate that 10 to 15% of those sold are scalpers.
That's actually a lot lower of a percentage.
It
than I
is a
thought
lot
was gonna
lower of a
be.
percentage. So I went ahead and did a little bit of math for it. So, and correct me if I'm wrong on this, but I went with the kind of the median average of 12.5%. So 12.5% of 8 million is 1 million. I found it weird that that's how that worked out, but cool, math is fun.
That's one word for it.
If you take so we'll start with Sony. So like I said, we figure Sony makes $48 per unit.
Okay.
Take that times the 8 million units that they sold. That's $384 million in profit.
Yes.
Scalpers will buy a unit for $500, sell it for $1,000. So if as of April 28th they have bought 1 million and sold 1 million, they've made $500 million.
So they've made more than Sony.
They've made more than Sony in reselling consoles than Sony has made in selling consoles.
I actually have a lot of thoughts on this.
There's one other fun thing about that.
Okay.
So they may have made, $500 million, but they say, they have not shown proof of this, that they donate most of that extra money to charities.
Nope, they do not. I guarantee you they
that,
don't.
that was where I was going with this. Is, do you consider it okay
No.
that they're doing it? Because they supposedly give all the money to charity.
Okay, so there's two trains of
Yeah,
thought.
the charities themselves.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's two trains of thought here. One, what they're doing. Yes, it's scummy.
Yes.
I agree, but not illegal.
No, it's not illegal.
And the thing about this whole scalping
Should be
thing is
me.
I tell people the same thing when we talk about the price gouging of graphics cards, because that's a huge one as well. Is if you don't like it, then tell people to not pay the scalpers. If people just were like, hey, you know what, for a week, we're gonna wait off a week. We're not gonna buy anything from the scalpers. And they don't make any of that money because they're wanting a quick turnaround.
Yep.
They're wanting 2 or 3 days at most.
Yeah.
So if for a week they stop making any money, then guess what's going to go down? The price they're trying to sell them for until they finally sell for something that's close to retail or at retail.
That was my comment. Like, what moron buys from a scalper?
Exactly. Yeah. So I mean
Like,
that's the
don't
whole
be
thing.
dumb.
The sad part is
Yeah.
a lot of people.
I know
do.
people were
Yeah.
dumb.
Yeah. Like I
Just wait, we'll get to my topic.
I can't wait now after hearing that. But anyway, so we have no idea what his is, by the way. He refused to tell us. So anyways, we you can
Very
go down
serious.
that path where it's
Yeah. Don't buy it.
just be smart. Don't
be
do
smart.
it.
And don't
Have
do
a
it.
little patience.
Yeah.
But
Like,
also,
holy crap.
do you think as well, because he made the comment, I said it's not illegal, he said it should be.
Well,
At
I-
what?
Can I jump in on that for a moment?
Well,
Because
I was
there is
gonna
a point
say,
where it
'cause-
is illegal. And that's when they started hacking into the security systems of these
See,
places
now
for the
that's
bots.
one thing. We're talking about just strictly like the morals of reselling
That's
Okay,
right
so
now.
blatantly
just
criminal,
general-
though, yeah.
Just in reselling in
Just
general.
reselling
Okay.
in general. So like if you didn't use
That
any
is
bots, but you-
ethically wrong.
it's
but-
ethically scummy, but it's not illegal.
That
Now,
would be correct.
I think in the UK, if I remember right, it was the UK, and maybe Tim can look this up too. I think it was the UK where they said something along the lines of like they actually made it illegal to resell for like a specific amount higher than the MSRP. I think. Don't quote me on that. Tim's going to do some research, but. Do you think that would be, and obviously, yes, this is almost getting political, I guess, but would that be too much government overreach to say, hey, you can't do this, even though it's a free market, and you can look at it that way? To say, you know what, we're going to step in and we're going to say you can't. Because, I mean, scalping's been going on forever. It started out with sports tickets, and concert tickets and stuff like
Never
that.
buy scalp tickets.
Yeah, like everyone was scalping tickets. I remember going to Twins and Vikings games when I was, in elementary school, and there'd be people standing outside.
Yep.
Hey, $100 a ticket, and we're like, we bought our seats in the same section for $20. It's like, so it's not a new thing. So I think the outrage now is a lot more people obviously are looking in masses
Yep.
for this, and plus with the internet, everyone can talk to each other a lot better.
Yep.
So it's a much smaller circle. But I feel like it's not anything new. It shouldn't be illegal because
No,
I
it's
feel
not
like
new.
that'd be too
It's
much.
a gray area.
It'd be too much of an overreach, I think, to make it illegal.
Yeah.
Well, something else to consider. You're right. Scalping's been going on for a long time. It's been going on for thousands of years. You have to realize merchants would actually take goods, buy them cheap, and then go to remote areas and sell them for a killing.
Yeah.
You have to realize that back then that was normal, but at the same time, they had no other option to get those goods or wait for some other merchant to maybe come by.
Yep.
Yeah.
Today, we actually have a completely different system. And thus, that's why we're actually noticing the scalping.
Yep.
That's why we actually have the term scalper,
Yep.
more so than just merchant.
Yep.
Back then, they were just merchants. That's all they
Yeah.
knew them as.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now,
Well,
there were scummy merchants, and there were better merchants.
I was going to say, the only thing I found online was that there was a petition put to the UK government.
Okay.
And that was back in February. That's the most
Okay.
recent.
So
thing
it's
that
not
I've-
like officially illegal. People in the UK wanted them to make it illegal.
But it did get like over 15,000 signatures.
Okay, because I knew there was something along the lines of them in the UK, but I wasn't entirely sure. So thank you, Tim.
It may also depend on the situation, because if you remember just a year or two ago, when people were scalping hand sanitizer and masks and stuff, there was legislation about it.
Yep.
So I think it depends on the scenario.
Yeah,
as
because I mean,
well.
obviously, with the pandemic, if people are like, "Hey, guess what? We're gonna hoard all the hand sanitizer unless you pay us way more."
Morons.
you know, that's one of those things where
Government doesn't necessarily care about consoles. So.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Unless, they cause all that violence in children.
Mm-hmm.
Don't you know? Another topic. Sorry.
Another topic. Some other time.
Some other time.
But yeah, the part that got me about it was that they're literally finding ways to bypass
and
security on websites.
As you guys know, I'm studying for a master's in cybersecurity, so I can tell you that is very illegal what they're doing.
It is.
And so for that, they do need to be caught and punished for that. But here's the thing. The fault also falls on the companies for not having better security.
Yep.
So they should actually be hiring better security analysts to go over their system
and that
and
is
protect
what
them.
A lot of websites are doing. They've changed how they, I guess, essentially update or upload the information to the website, so it's not known right away.
Yeah.
But you're still getting within 10 to 15 minutes. I know. I saw. I was on Twitter the other day. They were talking about it. Like Walmart had a restock online, and there were people that literally put it in their cart and were on a loading screen for 20 minutes, and it just disappeared.
See, now, at what point? Because I mean, realistically, the store is making their money.
Yeah.
It's the whole Pokemon card thing.
Yep.
Where, because I mean that's being scalped as well. So I mean the store's making their money, Walmart's making their money.
Yep.
So as long as they're making the money they planned on making,
They don't care.
I don't think they care, and I don't really think it's their place to care. I mean, yeah, they could resell them for more than MSRP, I guess, if they wanted to. But then they're also kind of part of the problem at that point. But if you buy, 10,000 consoles, which I know that's a way too big a number. That's a high number, but if you buy 10,000 of X, right,
Yep.
and you plan on selling 10,000 of X for this price,
Yep. If
you don't care. As long as you hit that and you sell them for that price, why would you care what people do with them after they take it?
Yeah.
So when you say it's their place to hire cybersecurity and improve the security on their site, I mean they're making their money either way. Why would they lose money to make the same amount?
So for that part, you are correct. However, for their actual security, if they do not maintain certain standards, they actually can be punished by the government. Because that could lead to other breaches of actual personal data, etc.
Yep.
Even if that wasn't the original intention.
It saves them down the line.
Somebody who knows how to make a program or a bot to bypass security to buy a console could probably very easily come up with a system to bypass security to gain personal information.
I mean they could, yeah.
So
I mean look at all the hacks that have been going on. I know Facebook is a huge one where there's tens of millions of accounts that get their information leaked out because someone hacked into the Facebook security. I mean, it's going to happen no matter what. These people are going to find a way. I mean, they're smart enough to get the bot made the first time. They're smart enough to get it made a second time and a third time and a fourth time.
Well, there comes a point where they can be stopped, though. If you sit down and design your security well enough and keep on it and keep doing ethical hacking and actually do those penetration tests, see where the actual...
Shut up, Jordan.
Shut up. I saw that look on your face and it distracted me and I knew exactly what you were thinking. No. Jordan. No. Anyway. So you can actually reach a point where you can cut them off before they have a chance to hit that while they're developing their bots.
But you have to keep up with it. Like I know they've stated recently that some of these websites have done that, but I can guarantee you if they don't keep up with it in 2-3 months, we're going to be right back where we were. Or still are, technically.
You said what do they gain and what do you lose, right?
Yeah.
Like you're saying, money down the line, I mean, there's lawsuits that can happen, but reputation as well.
Yep.
And for not necessarily mega companies, because they can do whatever they want for the most part, but smaller stuff like that, that matters a lot.
Yeah. I mean, look at the dying horse that is GameStop.
Other thing's been dead for a while.
It has been, but
to the moon.
They're just kicking that.
They are, but they even got just absolutely roasted because they're having the same issues where people are just buying things up before they even it's before they even hit the open market. These bots are just grabbing consoles before they even go live, but they don't care because they made their money.
Yeah.
And that doesn't sit well with me, but I don't run a
I mean,
It just
multi-billion
depends on if they're
corporation.
ethical or not, and
Yeah.
most people aren't. So,
No.
you know,
I mean, the whole
can
point of
change.
companies is to make money. So, like, I guess,
Yeah.
like I said earlier, why would they spend the money to prevent the bots from buying their product? If all they're doing is buying the product, like, they're not hacking into their, their database and taking
Yeah.
credit card info. They're just using it to put something in a cart and press buy.
Yeah.
Which, yes, it's...
But it's one or two steps away from that.
Well, it is, but if
It's a very dark gray area.
Yeah,
it is a huge gray area, and that's what I'm saying. Like, I get it. Like, I'm mad about it too,
Yeah.
but at the same time, I can be mad about something
Yeah.
and not have... It's the topic we had last week. What's
Yeah.
something that isn't illegal but you think should be? Like, just something that makes you mad that's
Yeah.
perfectly fine to do. That's definitely one of them, It's... If someone's buying something and they're reselling it, then yeah, it's scummy. It's not a good thing.
or even my last topic or last week, the fall AAA studios type thing.
Yeah.
Like, I just want them to care, but I understand it's just a business to make money. But
Yeah.
like, it's the same, basic aspect there.
See, and I was thinking about that too, and I wish I would have brought this up. I think the developers care, the publishers don't.
No, yeah, of course.
I think I wish I would have
Those
said that
that run
last week.
things don't care. They only
Yeah.
want money.
Yeah,
Those who are
I wish I
actually
would have said that.
developing and creating, like I said, art. That's because
Yeah.
that's what it is.
Oh, exactly.
They're putting, their heart and soul into that.
Yeah.
That is
Yep.
something that they love. That's why they went into the business for the most part. Anyway.
Yeah.
So.
For those of you that are watching live, by the way, that segment will go up on, I think, Thursday. That was the last topic, or second to last. So second to last. They'll go up Wednesday.
Yeah, something like that.
Okay. So if you're wondering if
But
you
yeah.
missed it, that'll be Wednesday.
That's
on
why you
YouTube.
see a lot of creative directors and stuff leaving those studios.
Yeah.
Yep.
Like, a lot.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's crazy. But
Mm-hmm.
that's off topic.
Yeah, I wish we could just go down this rabbit trail because there's so much more I was thinking about after that episode ended, and I was thinking about, and even right now I'm still thinking about stuff like
It's a very
I-
interesting
I
topic,
wish that
think.
we might have to revisit it here in a few
Yeah.
weeks because there's
could.
just so many more thoughts I have on that I didn't think about then, but throughout the last week, now that you put that seed in my brain,
Yep.
it's just like sprouting into a whole tree of branches of like this way, like my. So I have plenty of places I want to go
Yeah,
with
Sure,
that.
it's something I really care
Yeah.
about. So
Yeah, I mean we will definitely revisit it because like I said, I
down.
have
Yeah.
a whole bunch of different things. But back to what you were saying, then I would be curious, and I thought of this as you were reading off the numbers.
Yeah.
I would be really curious to know. You said $450
Yeah.
for the PlayStation 5.
Yeah.
So-
Something like that.
Realistically, a disc drive would add an extra $10, if even that.
Yeah.
So
We'll be generous and give them 20.
okay, so 20.
We'll be generous
So-
with 20.
top of the line disc drive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So if that's the case, then they're making money on one and losing money on another, which then maybe it balances out that way too, where it's almost like a wash.
That's
but-
the thing when with the making money versus losing money on a console. That's not the only way they get their money.
well, no, they get it from like the PlayStation Plus service,
Yeah.
and the digital games. So I think they take, if I remember
They
right,
get a
Sony
percentage
takes,
of every-
I think it's a 15% from
Yeah.
everything.
Companies
that-
have to pay them to,
Yeah.
to be able to play on their system. Too.
So-
Yeah, well, I think
Wow.
Sony though takes a 15%. Every purchase you have on the PlayStation Store,
Oh,
15%
sure,
goes
it's
to Sony, and then the other 85% goes to the developer or the publisher, I guess.
Yeah.
And then after the publisher's done with theirs, then the remainder gets trickled down to the
Yeah.
actual developers.
Yeah.
So,
Feel sorry for you guys.
Yeah.
yeah, it sucks how little
You
you,
do the
get.
hard work for the fun, and you don't get paid enough.
We appreciate you.
Keep making good content.
Please.
Please.
Please just don't stop.
So, yeah.
That was pretty much
Any-
all I had.
That's
so.
it for you.
So, yeah, in a nutshell, my thoughts on scalping. The only way you're ever going to beat it, though, just tell people to stop buying from scalpers.
Yep.
Don't be
Yeah.
dumb.
Like you were saying
Don't be
earlier.
dumb.
Let's go.
Yeah,
That's the only way to beat them. Is just stop playing their game.
Yep. It's like the
Why would you spend $1,000 on a console
yeah.
when you can just
Just
wait a little
wait.
while?
Yeah, I actually
Spend half
had a
that.
PS5 in my cart at Best Buy site, and I was sitting there like, should I or should I not? And then after like 30 seconds, I was like, okay, there's no point in even me trying to decide anymore because they're gone. You know,
Yeah.
I was like,
Yep.
do I pull the trigger? Do I spend the $500 on the PS5 or do I wait?
And then, you hit the button.
after 30 seconds, I was like, okay, well, it doesn't matter what I choose now because they're gone either way.
Yep.
You know, so like I'm not getting one.
You don't
now.
want the first iteration anyway.
No.
Like,
And I think if I
cool
remember
stuff comes
right,
later, and the stuff
Yeah.
that works better comes later.
Yep.
if I remember, I don't know if you heard about this, Weston. This is completely off. You know, I mean, it's still PlayStation 5, but I saw an article where AMD is actually making a new chip for the PlayStation 5.
Mm-hmm.
So it's going to be more efficient and actually have a little bit more power. So,
Wait.
get the new version when it comes out. I guess it's kind of like the Switch Pro as well. If it's the same, if it plays the same games, but, you know,
It's
has
a
more
little bit
performance,
better.
then yeah, let's
Yeah.
wait. Let's get that, you know.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Plus,
Especially
there's
this
like really
late.
cool custom editions for
Yes.
video games that are.
Yeah.
Those are the ones you get.
Those are the ones.
Yeah,
Yep.
for sure. So anything else on this?
There was a slight rabbit trail that I wanted to touch on quick, and it actually kind of ties back to your topic last week of what isn't illegal but should be illegal.
Okay, I like this.
So earlier this week, I was on the Facebook Marketplace just looking at stuff, you know, and I saw a posting for a 3080 for a graphics
Oh,
card,
I remember you telling me about this. Yeah.
and it said it was $10. And I'm like, that seems wrong. So you click on it, and in the description of the thing, the guy's like, "It's not $10. It's actually it was like over $2,000."
I think you said it was like 2,200.
Yeah, and I'm. That goes back to the whole what should be illegal but isn't. Is you're misleading people, and it
Yeah.
bothers me so much. I report them every time I see them. It's
Yeah.
like you're trying to trick people, or the people that try and sell, like going back to PlayStation 5, $200 for the box on eBay.
That's super
That they
scummy
try
as well.
they try and trick you into
Yeah.
buying the box.
Well, a lot of those too, they're not tricking people into buying the box. I've seen a lot of postings on eBay for graphics cards, and it's like 3080 box, $800, and then in the description it says this is just a box or this is a printed out picture. If you're a person, do not buy.
That's legal if you put that there.
Yeah.
But there's people that don't.
There's
too.
people that don't.
Yeah,
And
And
but
that's blatantly illegal.
now that's another topic for another day.
Yeah.
Is like,
Yeah, like I
the
said.
morality of just selling a printed out picture to a bot that you think like if they're doing something scummy, not illegal, but you're selling something to them that's worth a cent and it's $800. That's another thing.
Yeah.
That's a whole
That's
nother
a whole other
topic for a whole
topic.
nother
That's
day.
retribution.
And then you also have the people though who don't read carefully enough, and
Yep.
then they still get caught in those traps.
Yep.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
So
Yeah, for sure. I get it. So
That's for another week. So
yeah. So anything else we need to add on to this, or we?
I'm good.
all right. We can move on. So Dan.